secretary.
The most powerful cyclone to strike eastern India and Bangladesh in over a decade has killed scores of people and destroyed thousands of homes. Cyclone Ampahn barrelled in from the Bay of Bengal on Wednesday with winds of up to 115 miles per hour. It caused a storm surge of around 5 metres and mass flooding across the low-lying coastal areas. At least 82 people have been killed according to rescue officials, but that number is expected to rise. Authorities in both countries managed to evacuate more than 3 million people, moving them to storm shelters before the cyclone struck. But the evacuation effort was focused on communities that lay directly in the cyclone's path. Many villages on the edges were left vulnerable. The airport in West Bengal state of Kolkata is underwater. According to residents there, several neighbourhoods in the city of 14 million people have had no electricity since the storm struck. Rescue operations have been complicated by efforts to avoid the spread of coronavirus. Police said some people were unwilling to go to the shelters out of fear of contracting the disease. Designated a super cyclone, Ampahn has weakened since making landfall. Moving inland through Bangladesh, it was downgraded to a cyclonic storm on Thursday by the Indian Weather Office. The storm is expected to subside later into a depression.
Secretary.
big problem with the Fermi paradox is that we really don't know what all of the rules of life are in the universe. We're in some ways an infant civilization, unsure if we'll even be around in 500 years, much less tens of thousands of years, where we might become an easily detectable civilization to the rest of the galaxy, perhaps millions of years to be detectable outside it. This has led to the deep question of what the solution to the Fermi paradox actually is. On one end of the spectrum, we are simply alone right now and can't detect anyone else that might be out there. They don't exist at the same time as us, or aren't close enough for us to see. Yet on the other end of the spectrum, they might be everywhere, and we cannot or are not allowed to see them. It's anyone's guess, and that leads us to something my guest has been studying for decades: the many possible solutions to the Fermi paradox.
You have fallen into Event Horizon with John Michael Godier. In today's episode, John is joined by Dr. Stephen Webb. Dr. Webb is the author of numerous popular science books, including Measuring the Universe, The Cosmological Distance Ladder,